This may be a bit of a problem for some people to understand, but let me see if I can explain this to you. Epstein never occurred. There was no Epstein. There was no story. There was no Ghislaine. There was no labyrinth of predation and trafficking and underage girls. It never happened. It never happened. It was a story. It's a fable because it has been so occluded, so confused, so ignored, and nobody knows what the truth is anymore, and nobody cares, and nobody remembers. Let me see if I can explain this to you again. Nobody remembers. You can say you remember, you can think you remember, you might believe you remember, but I'm telling you, nobody remembers. Let me explain to you why that's important. But before we begin, let me tell you a couple of things which are very, very critical. I want you to be aware of something which is a most important aspect. And that is a product that I have been with for years. And it's never been more appropriate than now. And it's preparedwithlionel.com, because if you think we are out of the woods, you're out of your mind. Ladies and gentlemen, patriots and friends, hear me clearly. When disaster hits, and it will, in one way or another, it will. Weather, supply chain, God knows what, EMP, electromagnetic pulses, you are on your own. No FEMA, no politicians, no bureaucrats, nobody to save you in time. And we've seen it before with Katrina and East Palestine and California wildfires and LA fires and Maui and name it. Promises made, nothing delivered. That's why, listen to me, I trust My Patriot Supply and preparedwithlionel.com. Special deals for my family, for members, for viewers and listeners. Their 3-month emergency food kit gives you over 2,000 calories a day, 22 meal varieties. It lasts up to 25 years, and right now you get 4 extra weeks free, a $247 value. Don't wait, my friends. Go to Prepare with Lionel right now. Prepare with Lionel right now. Protect your family, secure your future, be ready, not desperate. Listen to what I'm saying. Preparewithlionel.com. Do this. Now, let me go back to what I'm saying, because what I'm telling you right now is heretical. For people to suggest that this is not possible, what do you know about what happened with Epstein? You don't know. What exactly happened? We don't know. Well, how many victims were there? We don't really know. 150? How many were underage? We don't know. Was this a part of some type of... What was this? We don't know. What do you mean you don't know? We don't know. Do you know? What happened to Virginia Giuffre? We don't know. Why are they saying that why are people still saying that Epstein that he self-harmed himself? Don't know. Did it happen? No. What happened? Don't know. Do you know? No. Nothing. You know absolutely nothing about what happened. Nothing. Think about it. It's almost like a movie, one of these horror movies that we see where we look back and we say, was he here? What was that? Ghislaine Maxwell, where is she? What was she? Is she going to be pardoned? I don't know. These people who are marching in, what about what Pam Bondi said? I don't know. Did it happen? I don't know. She said there were logs. Were there logs? No. Black books? No. Flight logs? No. Lists? No. What were there? Don't know. Well, what was it? Don't know. It never happened. Not the way you think it was. What about these names? Not one person. Not one person. How can you have this incredible story, this monumentally incredible fiction, if you will, and nothing ever happened? Nothing. Nothing came of it. Nothing. It doesn't exist. This is a thing which I don't think people really grasp. I don't think people really understand it. But the stories that we've been told are a joke. And I don't want to, I hate to say it like this to hurt people's feelings, but I'm convinced now that I think we were gaslighted. We're not sure what this was. Do you know? Seriously, stop and think right now. What do you know about it? You don't know. What do you really know? I don't know. You don't know. Nobody knows. It is the most bizarre, because it hit me today. And it hasn't hit you yet, but it will. I don't think anything happened. I don't think there was an Epstein. I mean, I'm saying it's partly true, but partly not. Partly, I'm saying a lot of things like, well, that's kind of symbolic. Yeah, maybe. Maybe I'm saying this in kind of a symbolic way. Could be. Yeah. That could be it. But think about this. Even in the Diddy case, we had accusations, we had victims, we had pictures, and now there's still little stories, pictures of, oh look, there's Ghislaine nude on the beach, and there's Ghislaine and she's over here, and then it's like they're taunting us. They're laughing at us. We believed everything, and we also believed there would be this thing called justice. There is no justice. Ghislaine Maxwell, if you think about it, this is so interesting, was charged with, among other things, inter alia, lying on a deposition. Everybody lies on depositions. What was the purpose of this? We'll never know. It was one of the most fascinating stories. And we're hearing today stories about, who was it, Nancy? Was it Mace or somebody who was crying over this? Did you mention, did Bill Clinton? Bill Gates? Dershowitz was mentioned, but that was ultimately dropped, all allegations, by Virginia Giuffre, who, by the way, she's not here. Do you know what happened regarding that? Can you tell me specifically what happened? I don't know. Are you sure? I'm not really sure what happened. What was the point of this? I don't know. It's one of the most bizarre stories where I'm telling you, I don't know what happened to anyone. Does anybody want to find out what happened to her? Nobody knows. Was she the victim of homicide, or was it self? I don't know. Think about this. When we're done and we say goodbye and thank you and have a nice day, and you move off into your world, you're going to be thinking today, he's right. I don't know what happened. What was that about? Who were the victims? A few people here, 2, 3, a name here, a name there. Virginia Giuffre for sure. All this back and forth, loud and boisterous. It was David Boies against Dershowitz. Ehud Barak, Les Wexner. You've got the highest level members of the Israeli intelligentsia or power players, and it's like nothing happened. They're just gone. Prince Andrew, pay a little bit here, gone. She was about to write a book, Virginia Giuffre. She was happy. She was gone. Nothing to see here. A little bit of here. They give you a limited hangout, a dribble, a trickle, a little bit of information. Let me ask you something. Why? One of you writes, one of the victims said today she was a victim of Epstein for 10 years. So she went to Epstein for 10 years willingly? For what? Young girls went to Epstein or Maxwell, got duped, but kept going back for more. Not victims. Threat is participators. That is participation. Thank you, by the way, for having the guts, sir or madam, to say this. We're not so we know that there is trauma shaming and trauma bonding and all of these words. What was this about? Ask yourself this question. These are the most critical of stories. Or I don't know. They didn't pull these girls over in a white van. Yes, Ghislaine Maxwell used her wiles to lure them as a big sister or as a. Yes, this happened. Yes, absolutely terrible, horrible, horrible. But what about the girls, the unaccompanied adults, unaccompanied children, I should say, who came across our borders? America 1-2 says, so they signed NTA, some of that hush money. Now they cry victims? No, some did. Some specifically made money. Some said, I don't want to be a part of this. We don't know the number of underage, and please, how underage? There's a difference between 5 years old and 16 years old. Not under the law. Absolutely. Let me ask you something. I don't want you to answer this, but ask yourself, when were you promiscuous? I should say that. When were you introduced to amour as a young person? I don't want to use words like virginity. I don't like that term, but you know what I'm saying. How old were you? Do you think you were at the age of 16, 17? Did you know what was going on? Maybe not. Do you think? Now, I remember, legal is legal. 55 miles per hour, that's the number. 65, 55, 18, 21. These numbers are set in stone. You can argue all day long. You can be pulled over by a cop and say, I don't think 55 is a fair speed. Good luck. Sorry, that's the law. Okay, now that we get that out of the way. Do you really feel these women were duped? Do you really feel they were? I mean, again, we don't know anything. They were preyed upon because they were poor. They were purchased. They had a place, like an apartment complex next to Bloomingdale's or somewhere, where they were kept almost like model. Listen, if you want to talk about where this is, go to the world of modeling. Oh, modeling, dear God, this has been going on forever. Again, this doesn't excuse anything. But when you think of Epstein, you think of this like sound of freedom, like where you open up the door and there's these little girls chained in this dark room eating gruel, and it's like, what do you? Again, it doesn't have to be that. I'm always forced to explain to myself, to explicate, to tell you, no, that's not what I meant. I'm telling you, we don't know anything. We don't know anything because nothing was ever resolved. And this story just is going to die. I don't believe Epstein actually, I don't believe it ever happened. Because if it happened, where's the evidence? Where are the people? There's some people here. You want the files released? What file? Do you think that's going to do? Okay. Let me say this, and I want you to listen to me. Everybody? You understand what I'm saying? By the way, Dick Dickerson, you got 0 notification because I didn't have notification. I went live. That's why you have to be subscribed. But thank you. You will know when I'm live. Thank you, Dick. Don't get angry. Please don't get angry. Remember, I'm telling you this. If the Department of Justice had wanted this to be revealed, the files, the information, the victims, they could just Pam Bondi can see, here are our files. You don't need any files from, we have them. We don't need to go to a court for that. Those are grand jury. We have the files. We did the investigation. We did the investigation. We don't have to ask you for anything. We've got them. If I'm a police officer and I've got all the notes and the interviews, I can just release them. If the DA allows it, or the U.S. Attorney's Office, I don't need to go to a court for that. It's my files. It's my evidence. I can let you know what I want. There's nothing that says where a prosecutor can't release. So what are we talking about here? Pam Bondi, it's your DOJ. Release the files. You do it. What are you joining them in the march? Release the files if that's what you want to do. I don't understand this, ladies and gentlemen. I don't understand any of this. I really don't. Maybe you do, but I don't. Okay? I don't. So listen, my friend, I want to thank you for this. Please, one more time, I want you to do me a favor. Just spend 5 minutes at one point, and I want you to go and look at our friends at Prepare with Lionel. Look at what they have that's available, and it will blow your mind. The information, the stuff, the products, from food to generators to waterproof matches, you name it. Preparedwithlionel.com, especially this incredible deal right now. Let me also thank you. Make sure you are. Is everybody subscribed? Make sure you're subscribed to Lionel Legal, ladies and gentlemen. Lionel Legal. That's what this is right now. You got what I'm saying? Lionel Legal. Thank you so much. Thank you for being a part of this. Thank you for sharing this. Thank you for your support. Thank you for your love. I mean this. I'm going to keep talking every day until I run out of breath, because I want to give you something where you'll say, I never. Did I make you think? Have you thought about one thing today that you never thought about? Did I give you one perspective, something that made you think like, oh, that's kind of interesting? That's all I want. That's all I want. Okay, dear friends, have a great and a glorious day. We love you madly. We love you madly. And don't forget, the monkey's dead. The show's over. Sue ya. Da-da.